on my way up here tonight, I was listening to the news, and it was all about this appalling case in Rotherham. And they interviewed a social worker, an actor who was reading the words for the social worker who didn't want to be named, and he made the point that this was all known about in Rotherham. All the professionals knew about it, and nobody acted. And he said the problem in Rotherham wasn't that it wasn't known about; it was that everybody was covering their backs. And this is, I think, is what the problem is here. What we're going to see with this named person scheme is not a utopian system where there's no child abuse or where every child reaches their maximum potential, whether it be academic or whatever in life. What we will see is a system where everybody covers their backs, and if something goes wrong, everyone looks around to see who to point the finger at and blame, and it will generally be the head teacher of the relevant school, or the guidance teacher, or the social worker, or the health visitor, whoever it was who was the named person and who had responsibility. But more worryingly, I think, is that there will be potentially a number of Rotherhams occur because everybody will be trying to cover their backs and therefore intervening in inappropriate cases and not intervening when they should be intervening. So that's a practical concern I think I have about this. More fundamentally, I think my concern, though, representing CARE, which is a Christian organisation, is that it is a fundamentally distorted view of the role of the state and of the role of the family. And in particular, in the tradition that I come from, the state is not seen as absolute. The state does not have absolute authority or absolute power. This is the tradition of Western societies. The state has limited power, and the reason the state has limited power is because we know the potential for the state either to be corrupted or for it just to be incompetent. And that essentially is the danger of what we're talking about here. That is why we have the European Convention of Human Rights with Article 8 protecting the rights of private and family life. And that didn't come from nowhere. It came out of Europe's experience in the Second World War and what followed that in terms of totalitarian states. So having a limit on the authority and the power of the state is very important for all of us in a free and democratic society. And it's not that people will have an intention to go out there and abuse their position of authority, but we're all human beings and we all become defensive when the spotlight gets shined on either our failings or our weaknesses. And so that being the case, it's really important that this legislation is at very least reformed, if not repealed. And that's essentially what we are looking to see happen as a result of the court case which we're involved with the Christian Institute. Thanks.